Hey everybody! Happy Labor Day!
Happy Labor Day.
Thank you for joining us on Welcome Back to America. I am D.B. Frick.
Yes.
This is Millie Michaels.
I'm Millie Michaels. Hi.
Today's theme is sitcoms. One of my favorite subjects. Grew up on them. Didn't have a social life as a kid because of them. Just sat in front of the TV, watched sitcoms all the time. The Jeffersons, All in the Family, Good Times. Watched them all. So that is today's theme. We've got a bunch of sitcom themed things coming up for you throughout the show. But first, Millie, what's going on in the world? What sitcom-like scenarios are going on in the world?
These are definitely sitcom scenarios.
Yeah. These are all real. These are all real things.
Yes, well, we hope. At the Taiwan Kite Festival, there was a problem. There was 38-mile-per-hour winds, and one of the big kites came down and wrapped its tail around a 3-year-old little girl and took her up into the sky about 30 feet up. Yeah, not fun for her, I'm sure. When it came down towards the ground, the other festival goers, they went ahead and got her, and she only had a couple of bruises, and cuts.
That really is hilarious. The idea of, you see that in sitcoms all the time. The idea of a kid getting pulled away by a bunch of balloons or
right,
something. That's funny.
I was just going to say, when I saw it, I was just like, whee! I thought it looked like so much fun. And
it's hard to believe something like that really happens. At least it wasn't a pterodactyl taking the kid.
Because that would not be good. Yeah.
What else we got going on?
There was a woman who needed to get a new license at the DMV, which is Department of Motor Vehicles. She had paid extra money to get her hair done, her makeup done. She looked so pristine. And when they mailed it to her and she got it, it was a picture of a couch. A chair, a piece of furniture. Not good. So she is not happy about that. I'm thinking the DMV in Tennessee stands for Department of Much Vodka.
That's really funny. I think it would be hilarious when the cop pulls the lady over and he's like, all right, this doesn't really look like you anymore. You look a lot younger here in this picture of you as a chair.
Yeah.
What else?
And leathering from the side.
Right, of course.
Yes. There was a woman that wanted to get engaged so badly. It took years for her to get engaged. Finally, she got engaged one day, and that night she went to bed, but she had a nightmare. She was on a train, a fast-going train that was getting robbed. So in her dream, she takes her ring and she swallows it. Yes. When she woke up, she actually swallowed it. 2.5 carats down there. That's some kind of talent. Was that unbelievable?
That is some. And you know what? Eating carrots, usually would be kind of healthy, but in this case, eating carrots, not so healthy.
Yeah.
And I want to joke about the train passing something and her passing the ring through her, but I can't come up with anything.
Yeah. It kind of all blends together, though.
It does.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Because that's what happens with digestion.
Yeah, exactly.
What else we got going on in the world of sitcom-like scenarios?
Yes, well, in England, there was a young gentleman who was going to the University of Nottingham that when he was leaving for the pandemic, he forgot and left the window open. Oh, that's so different about kids, right? Well, 5 months later, when he goes back, it becomes a sanctuary for pigeons. There's eggs in the sink. There's babies on his clothes. His mom said, you know what? This is nothing compared to his room at home, and she is not cleaning it.
The last thing you want is something or someone to poop on your stuff. Yeah. That's like the last thing you want to happen. So you come home and all this pigeon poop is everywhere. Right. Imagine cleaning all that up.
No, I cannot, and I will not.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'd move.
Yes.
We just have to move.
Yes, I would have to move. Yes, definitely.
So those are our news.
No, we have one more.
We have another news item?
I have one more.
Okay, great.
That's in Thailand at the zoo. There at Tiger Kingdom is where you go and you can take selfies at certain times with these massive cats. So this one girl, Wachakwaka Wika Awaki, I really can't pronounce it that well, but I tried. She went ahead and took a selfie with the tiger, and then she took a selfie with his testicles. Okay, she cupped the testicles. Hashtag inappropriate.
Can you get me her number?
For what?
The girl.
For cupping?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. If I could only just get her name right, maybe
If she's watching the show, welcome back to America, D.B. Frick. Just look it up. I'm easy to contact.
He's very easy.
I'm very easy. So those are our news items for today.
Yes.
I think you did. Those are great. I love those.
Thank you.
And I also love sitcoms. What are some of your favorite sitcoms, Millie?
My favorite sitcoms are Seinfeld and 30 Rock because they're from Massapequa. And I like Friends also.
Okay, so we're going to do a little Seinfeld trivia with you.
Okay.
All right. What Manhattan neighborhood did Jerry reside in?
It was a diner. I'm going to say they were in the Upper East Side.
Wrong. Doesn't give me the answer.
Okay.
Which Seinfeld writer voiced George Steinbrenner on and off from seasons 5 through 9?
Yes, that's Larry Sanders. No, that's... What's his name?
You got the first name right.
Larry David!
Yeah, you got it right. There you go. All right, quick, next one. Guest star Terry Hatcher's breasts, as confirmed by her character Sidra in a season 4's implant, were not only real, but...
They were fabulous!
Nope, that's not one of the options.
They're real and they're nice.
Wrong. In season 6, The Doorman, Frank Costanza wants to name the chest support garment he and Kramer invent the Manzier, but Kramer prefers...
The Bro!
Very good. Question number 5, and your last question, which of these occupations did George's alias, Art Vandelay, not purport to peddle in?
Okay, I'm not sure what you said, but he was an architect!
That's wrong!
Art Vandelay?
Which of these occupations did George's alias, Art Vandelay, not purport to peddle in? Latex salesman, novelist...
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, that was that good.
Latex salesman. And then, because Kramer was trying to get a job and...
I don't think any of that's right.
I don't think any of that's right.
Anyway, you don't seem like you're a real big fan.
I'm a huge fan.
Of Seinfeld.
I am a huge fan.
Well, we have a lot coming up for you on the show today. We have a couple of pieces of sitcoms. I am showing my sitcom, Comic Genius. A couple of scenes from that. Also showing a cartoon I wrote with Andy Danish and Rich Kane. We put together a cartoon while we were working for the National Lampoon.
Did he make up the Danish?
No, that's a real name.
Okay.
That's a real name. And I also have Mike Jamin on the show. He is a writer for Just Shoot Me, iconic shows like Just Shoot Me
I love it.
and Beavis and Butthead. He writes for Tacoma FD right now, or at least did before quarantine. We also have John Femia. John Femia is star of the TV show Squarepegs in the 80s. Sarah Jessica Parker was on that show, if you recall.
Yes, Jamie Gertz.
Yeah, Jamie Gertz was on that show. So that's what we got coming up for you. Please stay tuned and watch the rest of Welcome Back to America on Strong Island Television.
Woo!
Come back right after this.
I was right about Terry Hatcher's boobies.
Maybe.
I was.
Oh, look, you can Google them. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Welcome Back to America. I am D.B. Frick. I have a very special guest with me today, a very important person in the field of child psychology. This woman, from what I understand, has many degrees in many subjects and has a lot to say about how to rear children, and really, from what I understand, what I've heard, knows a lot about kids. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jesus. Thanks for coming on to the show today, Doctor.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know you're very busy, so it's a big deal.
Yes, I got to apologize though. I'm not actually from San Francisco. I'm actually at an S&M convention in San Francisco. So.
Oh, S&M convention. That's sort of above the, like, our audience isn't really.
Yeah, sound and music convention. It's great.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I wanted to first get right into it with you. I wanted to first ask you, what are some of your credentials? What are some of the schools you've gone to, your degrees?
Well, I had attended a college in Guatemala. Yes, I actually got 4 degrees in Guatemala. And then those degrees took me to a higher level to the Tiki Tiki village in Hawaii, where I earned 2 more degrees.
So you have 6 degrees. That's kind of amazing. What are some of those degrees in?
Well, let's see. Well, the laundry degree, laundry is very important. The child education for sweatshop relations degree.
Wow, that's very specific.
And how to, oh, geez. You know what? I can't remember the rest of the names.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Is there anybody that you work with of note? Any celebrities or any very, very wealthy people that maybe you work for that you'd like to give us maybe a little interesting story about or two?
I don't know if I should say. All right, Brad Pitt.
What you?
Brad Pitt.
Wait. You work with Brad Pitt's children, the adopted children of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie? There's like.
Oh, yeah, no. I was his landscaper.
Oh, you work with his landscaper's children.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Brad Pitt's landscaper, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still amazing that you would work with anybody like that. Do you have any tips for people, parents, new parents, older parents, people who have children, anything that you would like to suggest to them?
Well, I mean, I guess if you have to have children. Anyway, water deprivation. No affection unless absolutely necessary. Making sure pasta is always al dente. Very important.
Wait, second, one of your top 3 pieces of advice for rearing children is make sure the pasta is al dente.
Yes, it's very important.
Oh, okay. Well, Dr. Jesus, thank you for coming here today. Is there anyone that, anywhere people could go to like check you out? Anything that you'd like to plug before we get out of here?
Well, I really didn't want to say as today, but since I'm here, I'm actually writing a children's novel based off The Shining.
Oh, you're writing a book.
But a children's version, of course.
So a children's version, like you read to third graders, you read a version of The Shining to third graders through pictures and like a little less information, essentially.
Yes.
Wow. That's
very excited about it.
Really interesting thing to try. I would love to check out that book when it comes out. I really appreciate your time. I know it has a lot of worth, and I hope you come down to talk with us again soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jesus, this is Welcome Back to America. I'm D.B. Frick, and we'll be right back after this.
God bless you.
I'm just getting so sick of all of the stealing.
You're purloining what's yours. It's not stealing. Think of it as embezzlement.
Where's my weed?
You probably smoked it.
I wish Norman Rockwell could be here to capture this beautiful family moment.
Okay, wish me luck today that the manager doesn't see me.
You know what Dad always said? Fricks never get caught.
The problem is, we are not Fricks. I'm Kane, and Ma Barker has several Russian and Ukrainian aliases.
Okay, no, I have one Russian ID, and thank God for that because it saved us $80,000 in food in the last 10 years. You're welcome.
Well, let's thank. It's a Forrest Gump reference. My cleverness is entirely wasted on this family.
Okay, all this stealing has gotten me horny, so I think I'm gonna swipe on Tinder.
Oh, whoa. I talked to him last time. It is not my turn.
Okay, it's 4:20. Who's calling? He knows better than that. And that's the phone I gave him.
Hey, could I maybe once go to class without smelling like pot?
No, you can't.
Why is he even calling? He's going to be home tomorrow.
Answer it. He'll think we're avoiding him.
We are avoiding him. Oh, bummer. We didn't catch it.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Dan, thanks for picking up. Listen, are Mom and Sloan there?
No, we're alone.
Good. Because, let me tell you, I've been doing a lot of, thinking about myself in here, my life, and the way things went. A lot of introspection and self-healing, And I really want to turn my life around. So, can you do me a favor? Can you get me those one of those little blue pills when I get out? The Viagra, for sex?
Are you serious? 20 years in prison, and the first thing you think about is this?
Gee, when you kind of say it like that, I guess I need to do a little bit more introspecting. But I mean it, man. I'm really changing my life around, Dan. I mean, when I get out of here, it's going to be no more fraud, no more stealing, no more chicanery.
Chicanery? Do you even know what that means?
No, but the prison chaplain does, and he uses it all the time, so I figured I should use it too. I just can't wait to get out of here and breathe the fresh air.
Oh, there's something you can't steal. Why don't you just concentrate on your relationship with your daughter?
Yeah. Listen, I gotta go because the battery on the phone is going. Mom snuck me in an Android. I told her to get me an iPhone, but I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, really, I want to say thank you again for getting me that tattoo gig at Comic Genius. I gotta go. Dad'd be real proud of you.
Wait, what do you mean? Steve, tattoo parlor, what are you talking about? Ma, did you tell Steve I was going to hire him at the tattoo parlor?
She's doing the thing where she pretends to be asleep to avoid accountability.
I know.
Wow, I can't believe it. I mean, everything seems so different, just so new.
Yeah, not really. It's all just mountains and buildings and houses and trees. It's all the same. You want to just go back?
No, I don't want to just go back. Hey, let me ask you a question. Is stealing toilet paper still illegal?
Yes. Stealing anything is still against the law.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
It's not legal. It's because in Amsterdam they legalized a lot of stuff.
Not stealing.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's still not good.
No stealing. All right. Keep in mind, we're going to have to sleep in the same bed for a few days until your mattress comes.
Of course I'm okay with that. I've been sleeping with men for the last 20 years.
Yeah, quit bragging. I'm not sure if I feel better or worse now. Just concentrate on your relationship with your daughter.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I spent 20 years in and out of prisons. All right? I can't believe Amy left me. I'm the victim here. I mean, at least I have an excuse why I left her. I was in prison.
Yeah, I still think that was really stupid to tell the judge that.
Perhaps an error in judgment at the time.
Maybe we should listen to some music.
Music. Always bonds people.
Yeah, always buzzes. There, it's Juice Newton, Queen of Hearts. Dad always sang this one.
Always sang this song.
Playing with the Queen of Hearts. Yeah, man. No one can really start. The Joker and the only fool to do anything for you. Laying out another lie. Thinking about a life of crime.
Maybe something else. How
Turn the
about
dial
you?
to the right.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny Cash.
The Man in Black.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling round the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Maybe something else.
Turn to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, go that way.
Oh, Fiona Apple.
Fiona
There
Apple.
you go.
Not so much.
Maybe it's just some news.
News is good.
News.
Yeah. Not my day, Dan.
No.
Baby lion cubs, my arch nemesis. Such cruel animals, the baby lion cub. Another one for my pet collection. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him a trapper. I think that's how that cliche goes. I'm Baron von Trapper of the Dusseldorf von Trappers, and no one can stop me. There is no escaping.
Checkmate, robot. Silly mistake on your part.
Does Steve really think I don't let him win?
King, it looks like we have some issues in Africa. Now that tickled. Stop that.
I'm sorry, General?
Getting myself a pedicure. It's been almost a fortnight since my last one. Back to the point. Some craze hunter named Baron von Trapper is trying to get in the Guinness Book of World Records for largest pelt collection. We're gonna need you to head to Africa forthwith.
Baron von Trapper? I remember that name well. What's this? A lone baby cub?
Mr. King, finally a chance to kill all my birds with the one leading to water. I'm Baron von Trapper, and trappers never lose. That's what Daddy always said. Or was it, never try too hard, you'll hurt yourself? No matter.
I think you got your cliches mixed up. You smuggled your last pelt, Pelty von Pelt Stealer.
It is I who shall have the laugh last. You stupid, King?
Last laugh. Get your cliches straight.
Now I win because you are going to die. Now that sounds evil. Now I'll get into the Guinness Book of World Records for killing the most kings. Is that too many hearts? Oh well. You may have won the battle, but you will not win the battle. Next time, I'm Baron von Trapper, the trappingest of all trappers.
Don't worry, little lion cub. We're going to be fine. Do you have a name, little one? Well, I'm gonna name you Freefall. Freefall, don't worry. You're going to be fine. Another slick performance, might I add.
I've got some bad news, King. Looks like Dr. Bad has escaped prison.
Dr. Bad, I'm coming to get you.
Writing a book is the adventure of a lifetime. Red Penguin Books take pride in giving our authors a publishing experience that is stress-free and celebratory all the way. Some of our authors first approach us with no more than an idea for a book that's ready to sprout. Others submit completed manuscripts. Whether you're at either end or anywhere in between, our goal is to get you published. At Red Penguin Books, we offer options and opportunities that are unique in the world of publishing, and all of them are designed to keep you, the author we so deeply respect, in the driver's seat, unlike other publishing houses. So, if you want to write a book and are looking for a publisher, we've got you covered. Red Penguin Books deal in publishing services, book development, and ghostwriting for digital, print, and audiobook. Call us at 516-448-4993 or visit our website www.redpenguinbooks.com.
Hey, welcome back to America. This is D.B. Frick. I'm here with a very funny man, comedic genius in some, definitely, and I definitely feel so from the stuff that I've seen. He's a writer. He was a writer for King of the Hill, which is one of the most famous shows that has ever been on television. To even have the opportunity to be in the same room as Mike Judge is a pretty big deal. We have Michael Jamin here today. Thanks for coming in, man. Really appreciate you being here. I love that painting. Is that a painting behind you? It looks like a painting.
No, it's a tapestry.
Oh, it's tapestry. Okay, it's very, very good color. I wanted to get right into it with you. I know that you've been a writer for many years, over 20 years now. You've been a very successful writer, one of the most successful. And what was it that first made you get into writing? What was the first time that you felt like you were a writer finally?
Well, I wanted to be a writer ever since high school when I used to watch Cheers. I loved it. I was like, what? And then I found out, it occurred to me that there are writers in the show. I was like, what? There are writers? Like, it didn't even occur to me that, like maybe they just were on set just acting or something. It didn't occur to me. And then I was like, all right, I want to do that. Like, I didn't even want to act. I want to be a writer. And so then after college, I drove out to LA right afterwards, and I kind of paid my dues, and I busted my butt, and I took some classes, and then I broke in as a writer finally on my first show was a staff job on a show called Just Shoot Me.
Of course, yes, Just Shoot Me, a very popular show, loved it. Watched it most weeks.
Yeah.
Still a big fan of David Spade. He has a great talk show right now. One of the funniest guys around. What was the first thing that made you want to really produce sitcoms? Because that's really what you've mainly done most recently is produce sitcoms. What is the part of it that you enjoy the most?
Oh, well, you get to basically be all the characters when you write, and that's very fun. In the writer's room, you just basically, it's like a wild place to be. It's not a boardroom. You're just there to make people laugh. And if you make each other laugh, you're doing a good job. And if you don't, you're doing a bad job. So yeah, that's just kind of exciting just to see your words up on TV and see the reaction that you get. That's just a lot of fun.
Who are some people that you like? Who are the inspirational writers in your life, comedically or dramatically, or editorially?
There's so many great comedians, but growing up, it was my best friend, Howie, he was the one who I really kind of discovered what comedy was about, because he was just so very truthful. And his same thing with his stepfather. He used to go to dinner there, and the things they said were so outrageous, but it was just true. And I was like, wow, so that's what comedy is, just saying what you think and feel. And so that was like a huge influence on me, Howie. But then, of course, there are other I'd watch all sorts of amazing comedians on TV, and I used to take notes. I used to, whatever they'd write, they'd have a joke. I just, this is back before there's even cable TV. So if you happen to catch an act on TV that was doing stand-up, I had a notebook, and I just write down their jokes just to see if I could figure out how to do that, And I couldn't. It was like a mystery.
What did quarantine get you in the middle of? I'm assuming that you were working on something and something was stopped. What were you working on at the time?
Well, I'm running a show called Tacoma FD, and it just got picked up for season 3. It's going back. We're going to start the writer's room in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be virtual. I don't know what that's going to be like. It's going to be in Zoom. I don't know how, and then I guess they'll shoot it once things get safe. But in the middle of it, I was me and my partner were just working on developing ideas to pitch to networks. So this is the time of the year where you take your ideas out and try to sell a show. So that's kind of with that. We had a show we were about to take out and got killed just because of the pandemic. So,
are you working on anything different now? Have you started anything since the last 5 months? I know you're teaching some classes.
Yeah, that's another thing I put together. I was like, wow, I'm going to be in my house for a long time. So I put together an online screenwriting course, if anyone's interested in learning that, and that's at michaeljamin.com. And I've also put together, I'm working on a collection of personal essays, that are like humorous essays, and that's a long project that I've been doing for almost a year. So every month I can write about 1 or 2 tops, and then I rewrite them. And I also post those, I post a lot of those on my website, and then I'll reach out to hopefully publishers in maybe 6 months or a year or so. Yeah.
I would assume a lot of young writers come to you for advice.
Yeah.
And they want to know what they can do to get in there. It's always ever changing. When I was trying to get in there, I was buying lunch. I was getting lunch for the writers at like late night. I was trying to get in a very old school way.
That's how you do it. Yeah. What show were you on?
I was an intern on Late Night with Conan O'Brien many years, and I got a few jokes on way back, like in 99 and 2000.
Who was the showrunner back then?
And, who was that? I know the director was Liz Plonka.
I don't know.
I'm not sure who the showrunner was. They might have given them a different name because it was a late night talk show.
Yeah, because I had a friend, Marsh. He ran Conan for many years. But yeah, I mean, that's a great way to get it.
It might have been John Groff. John Groff.
I know John. John's terrific. Yeah. I'm friends
one
with
of the best. I still send John my material. 20 years later, he still reads it.
He's great.
I'm lucky to know him.
I ran a show called with my partner, a show called Marin, and we cast John Groff to play himself.
He hates acting. He doesn't like to act. He hates to perform.
He was good.
I know that he's talked about that. Where do you see writing going in the next few years?
Right now, it seems like all the shows that are being sold, or a lot of shows are being sold, are animated because they're safer to produce. So there's going to be a lot of animated content coming out probably within the next 6 to 9 months.
And the Quibi model, Quibi?
I don't think it's working. I think that model's going away. Yeah, I don't think it's a model.
Okay, that's interesting to hear because the only thing I see all the time is the ad for the Jenner brother. Like, it's kind of a funny concept, but I haven't been interested to watch it. I don't know, but
I haven't seen it. I just think it was from what I understand, it was I don't know. I guess it's not going that great, I guess. I don't know.
And Kiefer Sutherland, he's doing The Fugitive. They're doing 10-minute episodes of The Fugitive.
Much less running for him. He'd be great.
Yeah, much less. And anyway, that's another story. I really appreciate you coming down today and coming down like from your bedroom to your living room.
Yeah, right.
But I appreciate you zooming in and chatting with me. It means a lot, and to get a chance to talk to someone like you is a rare opportunity.
I talk to myself all the time.
I'd like to hear ththose conversations.
Not that special. Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to plug before we check out?
If anyone wants to follow me on Facebook, it's Michael Jamin, writer, and sometimes I post writing tips and obviously free and just whatever's going on, and if I can be helpful, yeah.
I appreciate you coming today, and I wish you the best and be safe.
Yeah, thank you, D.B. Pleasure.
We'll be back with Welcome Back to America right after this.
Me llaman Dan Pablo y hace más de 20 años me enamoré de una colombiana. Viajé a su país y conocí un estilo de café muy distinto, muy especial. Ahora tostamos cafés excelentes, con alturas y microclimas diferentes, resultado en una taza muy compleja y muy rica, un sabor nuevo en el mundo. Fue un éxito. And I even got to keep the girl.
Hi, everybody. This is D.B. Frick, and this is Welcome Back to America. Strong Island Television. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a lot to talk about with this guy. I've known him 17 years now. Met him 17 years ago at a place called Cheeky's on Bleecker Street, on a corner. He ran a show for many years. He's an underground comedy producer for many years. Very funny. He does a lot of important stuff right now that I'm really looking forward to getting into. Works with the homeless. He lives out in Vegas right now, lived in New York, lived in LA. It's been all around. He also starred on a very popular show from the 80s called Squarepegs, which brought us a couple of women who've become very, very famous since then, who I believe John still stays in touch with. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome John Femia to the show. Thank you for coming down, John. Really happy to have you here. It's great to see you. It's been a long time, too long, way too long. I don't want to waste too much time with pleasantries. We're going to get into this. We get right into this. I want to know what got you into comedy. What made you want to get on the stage or in front of a camera and perform in front of people?
I always loved comedy. I mean, I grew up listening to old comedy records. My dad, well, I have an Italian background, as you know, and my dad was a big fan of the comedian Pat Cooper. And he had a couple of Pat Cooper's records, biggest one being The Italian Wedding. And I used to listen to that regularly to the point where I knew the routine word for word at the age of 6. And my family, like whenever there was a wedding or whatnot, someone would always request that I go up and take a mic and do The Italian Wedding, which I did, like constantly, to the point where I fucking hated it. But that was like my first, foray into performing in front of people. And then that carried on over to school, to like elementary school, with assemblies and, plays and whatnot. They used to have a talent show when I was in the 5th grade, and I would go up and I'd do like little stand-up bits. Sometimes I would I would do Flip Wilson, or I would do Pat Cooper, or I would.
You did a Flip Wilson impression? That's a rare find.
Not an impression, no. I just recited his act,
Okay.
Well,
that's great. I mean, usually all
basically
artists
all the stuff that you would be shot by a firing squad if you did it in a comedy club. So.
Fair enough. Nobody wants to get shot. Well, some people are into that. That's some people's thing.
Hey, it's Vegas. We're in a lot of kinks out here, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in Vegas, especially right now, and we will get into that in a moment. You are a native New Yorker. You came from Bay Ridge.
Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. I feel like that's where everybody's from, Brooklyn. Like, if you get down to it, everybody's family was from Brooklyn. It's like how, and then they moved out to Long Island and spread across, but everyone's originally from Brooklyn.
We got them here too.
Yeah. You have been doing comedy for a very long time. You lived in New York for 25 years, until about 10 years ago.
No, actually, it was a couple of years ago. 10 years ago, you're right about that, Dan. That was when I started seeing things change in the city. And the city that I grew up with and all the places I used to go were closing little by little, although it didn't get too crazy until about the time that Mike Bloomberg left the administration. That was when it went into overdrive. And like all these cool, like these landmarks that aren't even there anymore, like CBGB's. I don't think Barry Bar's there anymore, is it?
No, I don't think so.
And
nothing. And right now, I mean, you sort of saw something coming years ago that's happening now, and not because you necessarily thought a pandemic would cause it, but just like the city dying. No, of course, nobody. We know things like this happen, but who can predict that so much would be fall apart? But you moved to Vegas sort of in time for that. And what do you think, what were some of the things that you saw specifically that made you feel like New York was over?
Again, that probably started around 2012 when things started to close and things started getting more expensive. and the cost of living was going more and more through the roof, but the salaries and hourly wages of jobs stayed exactly the same. And it got to the point where I didn't want to go to a bar and spend $10 on a beer. I don't want to spend $20 on a hamburger that's not even top quality. You know what I mean, right, Dan?
Right. Of course. And the prices right now, I hear like the commercial properties, like everything went down because everyone's leaving. Like, and nobody's.
I am looking into it. I'm looking into that. I'm hoping that maybe I could at least have like a home there for a few months. But I mean, it's very unlikely. I can go back to my old neighborhood in Brooklyn, but I would feel like, you know, the elder, like the Nosferatu of the neighborhood, you know, because like everybody's gone. I'm like I'd be the only soul like living there, you know.
I would like it if you slept all day and were up all night. That I like. That
I do.
John Femia that I want to hang out with. So the death of New York, and also something, since you are someone who has been on sitcoms and spent time on set doing sitcoms, you were even, this is my favorite thing, you were even on The Tonight Show. We talked about that last week. You were on The Tonight Show, which is a big deal. I love, like, people, like, there's so many comedians that I've met and that have gotten to either perform or be on, and I think that's great.
Yeah, I feel an explanation is in order about that. Let me state for the record, first of all, that I technically was never on The Tonight Show. What happened was this. I shot a scene on The Tonight Show set. My character was on The Tonight Show. It was an old show. I don't know if anybody remembers it. It was called Here's Boomer. Boomer was this dog. This was a mutt dog, and basically NBC wanted to capitalize on the whole Benji craze, you know, all the Benji movies and whatnot. So NBC had Boomer, so it was Here's Boomer. And Danny Wilson, who was the executive producer of that show, remembered my work from an NBC after school special I did in 1978, I think, that he wrote and produced. And he remembered my work from that and said, "You would be perfect for this." And just gave me the role. Like, I didn't even have to audition for it, you know. And I was on another show called Hello, Larry. Some people remember that show as the one where they said, McLean Stevenson left MASH for this. So, yeah, so it was that. But so that had just finished. And another interesting story about that I'll tell you in a second. But anyway, he called me up and said, "Hey, I'd love you to do Here's Boomer." And I was like, "That's great." And it was about my character, who was an aspiring stand-up comedian who was doing all he can to get attention, and somehow he wound up on The Tonight Show, which was one of Johnny Carson's favorite shows. Johnny, for some reason, backed out at the last minute. My guess is he probably thought the script sucked, because it did. It did. I don't talk about this much because it's probably the worst thing I've done in my career. It just, the editing was bad. What happened was they cut it from an hour to a half hour. And it just totally screwed up the continuity and the storyline. Why they did that, I don't know. It also had Kay Ballard as my mom.
Wow.
And it had Bill Dana, a.k.a. Jose Jimenez, as my father.
That's so huge. That's so big. As far as the history of television goes, that's enormous.
Here's the greatest part, though. The host, I mean, Johnny couldn't do Johnny didn't want to do the show, so they got a guest host, Dick Martin. Now, I happen to have loved Laugh-In when I was a kid. So It was a bigger thrill for me to meet him, who was a really sweet guy, really nice and encouraging guy. I was much more excited to meet and work with him than I was with Johnny. But that's just me.
Okay.
That's all the acid I did in the 70s.
I got to
fucked
go.
up my priorities.
Yeah. Well, you still did well. You still have so much there to be proud of. I got to go to the set once, visiting with my family, and walk through the set, and that was my only experience. That was the closest I got to Johnny Carson. But he is one of my favorites, of course. So, what about sitcoms ending? Like, do you think there's a future for sitcoms in any capacity? There's not many out there.
No, I think if something works good enough, you know, someone will take a chance with it. You know, I mean, the one thing that Hollywood, we already know this is no secret. The only thing Hollywood will not take a chance on is anything original. And believe it or not, Squarepegs, I believe, was, if not the last, one of the last sitcoms to feature a laugh track.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That's an interesting piece of information.
Which I hate. I really hated it. We all hated the laugh track. I understand why MASH hated it. It just was because I had seen the show without the laugh track and it worked so much better. But you know, for some
Right. I've been
reason,
watching like Bill Maher recently. I don't know if you watch Bill Maher at all, but
yeah,
they
sure
put
I do.
laugh track
Sure,
on his monologue.
real time.
And they cut to like old Dean Martin celebrity roasts, and they're getting that laughter. And I sort of like it, but it's still weird because you know it's not real.
It's not real. It's not
Yeah.
real. I want to vomit blood. It's just so fucking ridiculous. And the
On
thing
that
is,
note, of vomiting blood, you said that you've been arrested recently. I actually met you.
well, no, not really. I'll explain in a minute. But go ahead.
I met you like I went to the show where you were arrested many years ago.
Rock and roll, baby.
I'll let you talk about it. I'm not going
All
to say
right.
any pieces of it. But I was there this night, and it's around when I met you. Might have been the night I met you.
I think it was. I think it was
Yeah.
the night you met me.
Yeah.
You were there with Sacropani, right? Mark and
Sacroponte, yeah, that's right.
Mark Sacropani. All right. How's he doing, by the way? Is he all right?
He does something on Twitter. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Cool. All right. I'll check him out. Yeah. So, all right. Here's what happened. It was the summer of 2003. I actually produced what everyone deemed to be the hottest comedy show in the West Village. And mind you, that was a very tall order because Comedy Cellar was 2 blocks away. And another couple, I think Boston was a few blocks away too. But people came to my room. Comedians came to my room to warm up because they didn't have to bring anybody. And, you know, I'd pay them in sushi and booze. And then they go off and do their set, you know, and kick ass and not thank me for it afterwards. But so we were, okay, what happened was we were doing the show and another comic who I won't mention tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, what time is it?" And I look and there's a clock right there. I'm like, "Dude, it's 1:15 in the morning." He goes, "No, it's 4:20. So, you know, in code, most of us know what that means by now. So we went out. 2 other comics and I went out around the corner to, you know, smoke a little weed. It wasn't even a joint. It was like one of those little cigarette bats. We were out there maybe 45 seconds. Next thing we know, 3 300-pound monsters come out of nowhere, shove us against the wall, literally shove us against the wall. Say, "All right, we're going to jail. We're going to jail." I'm like, "Well, hey, I'm like hosting a comedy show. We were just out here for a minute." You know, for 1 second, I actually deluded myself that they actually gave a shit. But of course they didn't. And I remember I was in handcuffs and a wonderful comedian by the name of Stacy Pressman, very funny lady, very beautiful lady, was one of the comics that night. And she was outside watching this in horror with the owner of the place Shiki's where I did the show. And in handcuffs, I'm like, "Hey, Stacy, do me a favor. Can you maybe host the rest of the show for me?" So
That's
that was
great.
a fun moment. Yeah.
I think it would be funny if she had some money.
By the way, the guard in the tombs was kind of like RoboCop. He had these big friggin' RoboCop glasses, and you know he tried to be like the world's worst Rod Steiger. He's like, "Listen to me, you are not in Kansas anymore."
That's kind of funny. You do things that are very important now. You run, and I'm lucky to know a couple of people in New York that do similar things, but you run a homeless mission in Las Vegas, and there is a large homeless population in Las Vegas, and you're part of a group, the Holy Smoke Misfit Missionaries. Tell me a little bit about that and how that came about and what do you do there?
Well, I didn't put the mission together, mind you, and nor do I really run it per se. We have a wonderful couple here in Las Vegas that have been running it independently for the last 2 years, completely hands-on. And they basically focus on the homeless that are living in the underground tunnels in New York, like the one underneath the Rio Hotel. There's another one underneath the Hard Rock Hotel, soon to be the Virgin Hotel, because Richard Branson just bought it. And this is where a good many homeless will go to reside. And we go down there and we feed them and we give them batteries and we give them clothes, you know, we give them things like that. I always had empathy for the homeless, but that really started for me. The first week I was in Vegas, I saw these 2 cops come over and smash up this homeless woman's like belongings. And one of them was like, "I told you, move this shit out of here 20 minutes ago." And she was just devastated because everything precious to her was destroyed right in front of me. And it gave me a lesson on humanity. It also taught me the lack of humanity with the law enforcement that we have here, racist law enforcement. And also the politicians who are all basically talking heads and really are just happy that they're getting free lobster at the Cosmopolitan because they're mayor. They have no empathy whatsoever. They basically treat homeless people like cattle. And yesterday, getting back to how I almost got arrested yesterday, we went down to this homeless encampment here in downtown Las Vegas. I live in downtown Las Vegas, and it's still a poor community, but it's really coming up in the world. That's another story. So in North Vegas, there's this homeless encampment out on the street. There was another homeless group called Food Not Bombs, who we've worked with, who do a lot of good work for the homeless out here. They actually build these homes. They take porta potties, they basically clean them out, you know, make them like a nice covering, put a door in front of it, and now a homeless person basically has a 20 to 30 square foot spot for themselves with a door. People don't want to see homeless in the street. Okay, well, if they have a door and they have somewhere to go to keep away from everybody, you won't see them. Okay, evidently what happens is every like twice, 3 times a year, the police come to like, you know, basically bulldoze everybody out of there. And I'm happy to say that 3 or 4 organizations, ours, Food Not Bombs, a couple of others, we were ready to form a human chain to stop this from happening. We were ready to basically stop the police from coming in. We also had 2 other organizations that raised probably close to $10,000 to $20,000 as bail money in case we got arrested. And they bail us out the same day.
And we know chances are you're gonna, knowing those other 2 stories, we know chances are you're gonna get arrested.
Of course, of course. But the police never showed. I mean, 1 or 2 cops came by and saw it and were like, maybe we better not. Let's go see if a Krispy Kreme is open. And then they just took off.
We might get 3 square meals to these people.
I will be producing independent comedy shows for the homeless once this Rona shit is done, because the Rona is now increasing the homeless population in droves. So now we are working on a digital TV series that we're going to try to, you know, sell to Amazon. I don't think Netflix will be interested, but we'll try. Basically, we are going to put it on some forum. It's already done. It's already produced. So we're not going to have anyone outside telling us how to do the show. And it's going to convey all the right messages. One important thing, because I know we're short on time, Holy Smoke Misted Missionaries. Holy Smoke Misted Missionaries basically bonds the homeless community through cannabis, which is legal here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Couldn't be happier about that. Excuse me 1 second.
Okay, that's great. Take your time.
So at any rate, case in point, it's just great that I can do that, you know? Like,
I think it is
Las
great.
Vegas, I love this town. Love this town.
Who knew that we would be able to in our lifetime?
I really didn't. A tear comes to my eye when I drive on the 15 and I see all these I see these bills of these boards for marijuana with these huge like weed buds. I'm like, I've died and gone to heaven. This is the greatest.
John, I am so glad that you came down today. This has been a great conversation, and I'm glad that we took the time that we did to do it, because it's great to talk to you. You're an incredible talent, and you're doing many things, many good things for people. So we took the extra time because I think it's so important that people know of this work that you're doing. So thanks for coming down, John. And
can I make one final appeal? I know you got to go. I'm sorry, short on time.
Of course, no, go for it.
Anybody interested in making donations, and I'm not necessarily referring to money. We take batteries, we take clothes. No sense in sending food, you know, through the mail, because you know pizza will probably just rot. So if you send batteries and money's fine. Go to our Instagram page, Holy Smoke Misfit Missionaries. You'll see me do a lot of stupid shit on there, but basically we're just conveying, you know, a positive image for the homeless. That's really what we're getting at, showing the world that they're people and not cattle, and hopefully we'll change that, because I'll tell you what, you're going to be seeing a lot more homeless families out there. People have no idea how fucking bad this is going to get. So we're going to be there to lighten the load as best as we can. Holy Smoke Misfit Missionaries.
Yeah, again, John, thanks for coming down. I'm D.B. Frick. This is Welcome Back to America, and we'll be right back after this.